If corporal punishment comes back, can you imagine? Our kids will not grow.
They were growing in your time, and it was there. You grow, I mean.
No, no. I have a point. Means you are bringing back physical penalty, which in extension means violence. It's like starting violence again in schools.
It is quite different to say this is violence and this is penalty. Penalty is not violence. So if you conflate those terms, it's going to mislead the audience. Yeah. You do something wrong, you face the penalty. If you cannot take a physical punishment, if you cannot take corporal punishment, then you should not do a crime worth physical rectification.
Because the moment you start hitting one child, then you are inciting violence, or violence erupts. Because it shows that the teacher is not taking a whip to beat, but the child is still feeling pain. You understand my point? The child is still feeling pain, which will come down to corporal punishment as well.
Physical pain, if you have it, when it's over, it's over. But like psychological pain, like you live with it. You live with it. And in most of the cases, like students who suffer from bully, let's say bully, it's usually not, and they are usually the most traumatized people in school. And it's usually not physical. Like when I get in class, someone calls me like, you ugly, your big ears, your big nose, like your big short sense, like those things, they traumatize students. These are psychological things. So I think physical punishment, controlled physical punishment, corporal punishment is better than those psychologically traumatizing students.
Nowadays, teachers will come to school, maybe they even left the house without anything. So they come with that anger. Yes.
Now you see, like
so they come with all that. Now you give them the whip. They're going to translate all that into the whip, and that child will suffer.
That's why I said, like, if a teacher cannot control himself, he should not be a teacher. Like, if you cannot control your emotions, you need to be like on the same desk with the child.
Welcome to our new podcast series where we bring you voices from the streets, the schools, and beyond. So in this episode, I have a teacher on my right side and a freshly graduated student. Should I say a fresh graduate student?
No,
or a student who is still, going to school but at university level. I want to make them debate on a topic, a very burning topic, where they're gonna fight on whether to bring corporal punishment back into school settings or not. So the teacher is going against the motion not to bring back corporal punishment in school, but the student wants corporal punishment to be reintroduced in school. So I don't know. I was thinking the teacher would be like, yes, hang a teacher in the book door, understand those students. So I was thinking the teacher would want corporal punishment to be reintroduced in school, and the student would be the opposite. But in this case, maybe the teacher have some other thoughts in his mind. So I would like them to introduce themselves, and we can get into this topic. Please, Mr. Jao.
Hello viewers, my name is Omar Jao. I have been teaching for the past 15 years here in the Gambia. I taught at schools, started from Nusrat, then Ndaus Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, then Sibek International High School. So I have been teaching biology all my life, being a teacher.
Wow.
Yes.
So you know everything about biology. You've been teaching biology for 15 years.
For 15 years, yes.
Wow.
For 15 years.
That's a big CV, man.
Yeah.
Student.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Abdulatif Tawari, a final year computer science major at the University of the Gambia, and also the Minister of Information and Communication of the students of ICT of the University of the Gambia. Just for argument's sake, or for clarification purposes, the topic just a little bit of rectification. It's not the student wants corporal punishment to be back. The student is going to argue for corporal punishment to be back.
To be back.
Yeah, which are different things. If you say want, it means like the person is morally inclined to it. But like if say argue, it's just going to be for argument's sake.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So bit about Tankadar.
Yeah.
A Minister of
Information.
And a 15 years experience teacher.
Yes.
This is going to be very tough. So the first question is, corporal punishment should be reintroduced in school. Who wants to go first?
Well, I think like we give respect to the elders. Not only is he an elder, he's also like in position of higher authority and then in society and in board and school. So I will let the teacher go first.
Mr. Jao, please.
Okay. Corporal punishment by definition is physical penalty on a wrongdoing. Yes. So reintroducing that means you are bringing back physical penalty, which in extension means violence. It's like starting violence again in schools. So as it sounds, I think every sensible person will not want that. Yes, so I'm going right against that motion to say that it should be reintroduced back to the schools. So I'm saying no to that. It should not be reintroduced back to the schools.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is quite different to say this is violence and this is penalty. Penalty is not violence. So if you conflate those terms, it's going to mislead the audience, which I don't think should be an intent of anyone who wants to logically debate their point. Ladies and gentlemen, I, Abdulatif Tabale, I am arguing that physical punishment should be reintroduced in the school system under control. Corporal punishment or physical punishment. He defined it using the word physical. Yeah. So it should be brought back to school and kept under control. Because people should learn consequences and then people should learn responsibilities. If you look at other schools, let's say in nations that do not introduce corporal punishment, or they think it's against the child's right, you have mass shootings there. But like here we know that like our elders are well disciplined because of the kind of society that they were raised in. You do something wrong, you face the penalty. If you cannot take a physical punishment, if you cannot take corporal punishment, then you should not do a crime worth physical rectification. That is the whole point. We, in fact, like rectifying an action should not be a point of argument. Doing or not doing the action is what we should in fact be arguing. So I say corporal punishment should be brought back to school.
Mr. Jao, do you have anything to against that? I believe you have a very strong point. Can you counter that?
I want to counter the point that he mentioned, saying that corporal punishment is not something that leads to violence. Of course, it leads to violence because when you physically abuse a child or a student, you start by hitting. So that hitting is where violence starts. Yes. So in extension, there are other questions that will come up, which I will elaborate on that violence. Because the moment you start hitting one child, then you are inciting violence, or violence erupts. So over time, it becomes something like so big that it will instill so much fear in the kids. Even those who are not physically abused, they will be so fearful. So that's what violence is. Violence, when it happens, those who are affected, everyone gets affected psychologically. So that's the violence I mean. Even those who are not directly affected, like they are not breaking the law and they are not hit by the teacher, they become like victims as well, because the atmosphere that we create in the class is like everyone becomes fearful. That's the violence I'm talking about. Everyone in the environment of the class becomes fearful of the teacher. Yes.
Okay, for me, when you mentioned violence, when the violence came in, when you mentioned the violence, I was thinking it is something to do with maybe the teachers might be maybe targeted by the students. So yeah, that was my whole like thinking around that violence. But I get it now. I get it clearly.
Yes, the violence means the students being physically abused. Violence is chaos. Yes, violence is chaos, because once you hit one child and the whole class is seeing that, then it means that there is violence, because there is chaos. Everyone sees it like, okay, this is what happens to us. So we are in a state of fear. That state of fear alone is violence in its own terms or in its own way. Yes.
Can I jump on that before we move to the next point?
I'm going to give you one more chance.
Yes. Okay, yes. When you say abuse is when you go beyond the extent. For example, if a court, let's say, throws the book at a person, someone commits a crime and then they go to the court, now the law gives the person a penalty. That penalty is not abuse. It's a penalty. Abuse is when you wrongfully do it. This time, the student is wrong, not the teacher. You are rectifying the person. You are not abusing the person. So if you go beyond that, that's between you and your moral sense and like your moral caliber. And then the part that he was talking about, you are going to fear the teacher, or you are going to have this fear. What are you going to fear? You fear wrongdoing. That's the whole thing. Because like if you don't do anything, there's nothing against you. You fear wrongdoing. That's the whole point. Like this sense of fear of crime should not be confused with fear of somebody just jumping at you randomly. which is like, for example, if you say in society, fire burns violently. Should people fear fire? We should fear fire because that's reality. If you don't fear, it's gonna burn you. So instead of crime burning people, we rectify them and then avoid all the consequences that they have to face.
So when a student breaks the law, the teacher's anger cannot be measured. Teachers are different. We are humans. We have that as a variation. That difference also comes in how angry we get when a student does something wrong. So when a student does something wrong, that is where I'm getting at. So the teacher will not, normally corporal punishment during our time was not something that was regulated. The teacher was having a whip and they can beat anyhow, anywhere.
Black, yeah.
Yes. They can beat you on your head, they can beat you anywhere.
Seriously.
So it's not something that is regulated. So the teacher's anger is something that the teacher translates into the whip and sends it to the student.
And
so that becomes something that goes overboard.
Okay, not to cut you off, but like if a teacher cannot control their anger, I don't think they are qualified to be a teacher, because you are there to rectify people. You yourself, you need rectification, because you cannot say don't take it to that judge because that judge has anger issues. The thing is, the offense is not against the teacher or against the judge, it is against the law. And the law, just as we have rules, we have stipulated, or how do you get it, correlating penalties. So if you cannot follow that, you have personal issues with the student, and then that can be confused with the law being broken by the student.
So a teacher being able to control their anger is part of emotional intelligence. So if a teacher is able to control their anger, they can tame themselves, and in that way they carry themselves and discipline the kids without beating them. And the kids, right now, corporal punishment is not existing in the schools. Some teachers, when they walk into the class, the kids, it's as if you know, I mean, someone that they respect a lot, that they give a lot of respect to, has come in. So it's all about personality. So a teacher should be able to control their anger, you know, be emotionally intelligent, and then the way they carry themselves, that's the way the students are going to see them. That's the way the students are going to go with them.
So just a word.
But when a teacher resorts to physically beating, it means that when they get angry, they just get the whip and beat themselves, and beat the teacher, beat the student.
Sorry, we should not conflate this thing. The teacher getting angry and the student committing a crime are two different things. You cannot say, how do you call it, the judge should not punish it, like the judge should control his anger. That doesn't make sense. You do something wrong, you should face the consequences. When will you learn consequences? That's why we are having mass shootings in places where we don't have these things. Students just get angry because like they don't know what consequences mean, responsibility actually. What responsibility actually mean, they just start shooting everybody.
Okay, so I think this will lead perfectly into the second question. Are there better or more effective ways on disciplining students?
Of course. And those strategies have been implemented in schools. For example, if a student disturbs in the class, you can ask them to stand. Okay, when they stand and their mates are seeing that, okay, they are like the scapegoat, you know, it starts from there. If they continue disturbing, you can ask them to be at the back.
It's like to shame them.
Yes, to shame them, and at the same time they are standing. They don't like that. You are putting them in a situation which they don't like. Okay? In that way, at the same time as a teacher, you are trying to control the rest. Yes, by showing that you are there for a purpose. You are there as a teacher. You understand my point? So any other student who is conscious would not fall victim to disturbing in the class, because mainly it's disruption. Yes, that gets teachers out of their character, that makes them angry. Disruption. A child becomes so disruptive. So there is one or two kids that will start that, but when you stop it from the starting point, after a while it will even fade. The student will understand that this teacher means business when he comes to the class.
And it's working.
And it's working perfectly.
So apart from, like, let's say asking them to stand, or maybe you isolate them from other students, are there any other ways that you can introduce to control the class, or to make the learning environment a bit more respectful and the like? Is monkey dance part of corporal punishment? And kneeling down?
Definitely, if it's a physical penalty, then monkey dance can be part of it. Yes, because monkey dance also engages the muscles and all that. Here, the teacher is not beaten. Yes, the teacher is not beaten. So there will be exceptions. The teacher is not beaten, but I think monkey dance being also a physical punishment can also be part of it. Yes, because it shows that the teacher is not taking a whip to beat, but the child is still feeling pain. You understand my point? The child is still feeling pain, which will come down to corporal punishment as well. Because corporal punishment involves a punishment that the child will feel pain. Yes, even that standing should be for a time. The standing that I mentioned, let me go back to that. Should be for a time that the student is cooperating and they're not disturbing where they're standing, and you give them another chance to be in the class.
So like if standing is maybe a form of not corporal punishment, then that means also kneeling down might be another example.
Yes, standing is a form of it because they will feel pain. That's why I said give them a time.
So I mean kneeling down should also be in that category?
Yes, should also be in that category.
Okay.
Kneeling down should also be in that category.
All right.
Yes.
So what's your point? How do you counter that?
Yeah, more or less like...
Do you accept what he said?
Partly,
Okay.
yes. Like I'll get to that. But first of all, just to debunk the point where he says like instead of physically punishing, causing the child a physical pain, you cause the child psychological pain. I think everyone will agree with me that people would they will rather take physical punishment than psychological punishment. Like people will say like, for me, like my dad, he would rather beat me than harass me, like then isolate me, then make me stand out in a psychologically traumatizing way in class. Which is not telling. Like physical pain, if you have it, it's when it's over, it's over. But like psychological pain, like you live with it, And in most of the cases, like students who suffer from bully, let's say bully, it's usually not, and they are usually the most traumatized people in school, and it's usually not physical. Like when I get in class, someone calls me like, you ugly, your big ears, your big nose, like your big short sense. Like those things, they traumatize students. These are psychological things. So I think physical punishment, controlled physical punishment, corporal punishment is better than those psychologically traumatizing a student or isolating the person, making the person feel like it.
But now, if you shame somebody like by making them stand,
yeah,
they will feel like your argument is they will feel the same. But how about if you beat them in front of other students? Are they not still feeling that shame?
If you physically beat them,
yes. In front of other students.
That's why I like the point that he mentioned, control, because that's what I was saying. The teachers' anger level cannot be measured. Yes, unless this thing is controlled, which is tough. Because if you give the teachers that room and say, okay, corporal punishment is back, they're taking back the whip, and you can beat someone and cause a mark on their body, and that mark stays with them. Every time they look at it, they know that okay, this is from Mr. X. That lives with them forever.
But monkey dance, like your mark there. Fit
wow.
It's gonna make you fit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, the point with that, like, just the word on the point on control. On control. If you ask a teacher to punish their child, they will not punish it. Probably, like, they will be very lenient with the person, with their child. If you do not beat your child to like causing bruises on it, why would you do it to someone else? Meaning, the problem is not a corporal punishment. It's with the teacher's emotion. You need to be in the classroom. You yourself, like the teacher needs to be in the classroom with the students. So
now it looks like this point also leads perfectly. I don't know whether you saw my question, but it leads perfectly to the third question.
Just before the third question, okay. Like whether there are better ways to implement.
Yeah.
Yes, there are better ways to implement. Let's say in other countries you have a program called Scare Street, like Scare Street, where you take people to the let's say penitentiary, to the prison, and then they have a conversation with the inmates. The inmates will talk to them about their experiences, what they go through, whether they regret it and stuff. It will, like, without physical punishment, without being corporally punishing, it teaches the people consequences, because usually when we think of when we think about consequences as kids, we see it as something very, very abstract. Like we don't know it is something real. Like people actually fall for this, and then you 8 years behind bars. What does it feel like? Just like excuse my language, but like because should I say it? Why most people think last bonds are just like that is because there's no penalty for them. Okay. Excuse my language if you're last born, like, yeah. Yeah, especially like if you go to houses, you usually find, let's say, first born, second born, and third born, like everyone except the last born.
Let me help you. When the last one, then you about it.
No, that's not what I
That's
said.
what you want to say.
No, no,
Say
no,
it.
no,
Say it.
no.
And let them attack you in the comments.
No,
Yes.
no. That's not what I'm saying.
So if you're the last one, make sure you attack him in the comments. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's a joke, by the way. We move to the next point.
All right. So the next point is, so teachers in fact have the authority to physically discipline students in school. Should they have the authority?
No. The reason being that it's like giving the teacher that it's like taking the whip and giving it to the teacher. So when the teacher goes to the class, when a student is not following what they are teaching, the teacher can get, frustrated. Yes, frustrated. Nowadays, there are so many strategies that you can use for teaching. In the past, our teaching strategy was just on the board. You have a textbook and it's on the board. If you don't get it from there, that's it. There's no place like they refer you to this place, this website or YouTube. Those things did not exist. So teachers were just having one platform to deliver their lesson. And the students will use the textbook. These are the two resources in the class. But nowadays, if a teacher is finding it difficult to deliver their lesson, or a child is finding it hard to get it, there is a visual aspect of learning. There is audio aspect of learning. Yes. So teachers can get to YouTube and find the lesson that they are teaching, and then see how that lesson is delivered. They can learn those best practices, bring it in the class, or even introduce that in their lesson. So every other student will be equalized. Yes, but if you give the teacher the whip, they will use one strategy to teach. If that doesn't work for a particular child or two, then they resort to the whip. Yes, that's my point.
Okay, can you repeat the question?
So
again?
bringing corporal punishment is like you are telling the teacher that if what you have to deliver doesn't work, then use the whip. Yes.
So
but
they don't think
yes,
broadly.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. It's either you teach
Yes,
my lesson.
yes.
This
Exactly.
is how I teach,
Yes.
or I whip you.
It was applicable in the past because in the past resources were not wide enough. Internet was not there. Internet was there, but it was not supportive to learning. This YouTube, AI, the advent of AI, all those things were not there. But nowadays, there are many ways. You just need to be on top of your game as a teacher. Yes, know your subject. Do research on where the kids will get resources. You bring them in the classroom. The students can even learn from those resources better than the way you are teaching them. And which is a plus to you because when they learn through those resources, you are the one that introduced it to them. When they learn through those resources that you show them, they come to class and do well. And when they do well, that's the credit goes to the teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, just before, I just want to give you more points before you read back the question to me. Okay, if as a teacher you need the right to discipline the child, just like to counter what he was saying, because if you look at this, if you look at a student, you leave your house before 8. And then you return after 5. You spend most of your time with someone who is not disciplining you. Your mom goes to work, your dad goes to work probably. Both of them work. When they come back in the evening, they are tired. You barely have time with anyone to put you on the right course. So if they don't take responsibility, then who's going to take responsibility? You don't want to discipline someone that I'm giving you 8 hours with, like you are spending 8 hours with this child, and then you're like, I don't have the right to correct the guy. So who's going to correct the guy? And that's it. Like, if you are brought up by the street, you will eventually end up in jail. That's it. Yeah, live by the street, die in jail. Is that simple? And yeah, and also, like, just to make a rectification, corporal punishment being brought back in school does not mean that corporal punishment is the only legitimate punishment. You understand? He was like, if you don't, you just give the teacher a whip and it's either my teaching method works or I use the whip. No, we are not saying corporal punishment is the only thing. That is the only way to rectify it. You can blend it with others. You can blend it with some others. You can introduce your own modes, like if what works best for you. But saying it doesn't even make logic to say that corporal punishment is the only source of rectification. That doesn't make sense. Even at law, like let's say at national level, if you go to high court, you have pardons and then you have all other stuff. You can do, yeah.
So you kind of answered the question. The question was, you are asking me to give you back the question. So the teachers have the authority to discipline students.
Of course, if they don't, who's going to?
Oh.
Like who literally is going to? Let's say if the teacher do not rectify people, if you spend most of, let's say, I think as a student, as much as you spend time with your peers, you spend a lot of time with your teacher, observing your teacher, being alongside your teacher, doing the things that your teacher asks you to do. If you are living under something, like you are spending most of your time under someone who you cannot, who cannot rectify you, then you better, like, it's better you go to YouTube and then create your own certification. Yeah, graduated from the University of YouTube.
So at this point, it's not about not having someone who will rectify you. You'll be with the teacher, they will rectify you, but not physically harming you. Rectification, there are many different forms of rectifying. Yes, and students are different. Like we have school is from daycare going all the way to university level. Yeah. So if corporal punishment comes back, you know, can you imagine? Our kids will not grow.
They were growing in your time, and it was there. You grow, I mean.
No, I have a point. The point I'm mentioning is, in this day and age, the way we are emotionally triggered is different from the past. How they were emotionally triggered. Nowadays, people are easily, they're easily angered. They're easily angered.
Why?
And they fight back.
The reason is because of the time we are living in now.
Things are hard.
Before, teachers were coming to school, they will not have much stress, because everything is settled at home. But nowadays, teachers will come to school, maybe they even left the house without anything. So they come with that anger. Money. Yes.
Now you see,
so they come with all that. Now you give them the whip. They're going to translate all that into the whip, and that child will suffer.
That's why I said, like, if a teacher cannot control himself, he should not be a teacher. Like, if you cannot control your emotion, you need to be, like, on the same desk with the child. Both of you need the lessons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So I feel both of you are having very strong points. So we can move to the next point,
okay.
Which is how might corporal punishment affect a student and teacher's relationship? So maybe you can go first.
Let me go first.
No, you can go first in that one.
Okay, repeat the question again, please.
How might corporal punishment affect teacher's-student relationship?
Yes.
Do you think it will affect it?
Of course it will. Like, anything you do affects whatsoever relationship you have. Like, if you stay up at late night, if you're married, you sleep in the couch. So anything, yeah, you know what I mean. Anything you do will happen. But, like, let's say everything or anything we do have good and bad sides. So if we weigh these two sides, and so it should be specific to whatsoever we are looking for. Is it building good relationship with this student, this particular student, and this particular teacher? Because, like, we cannot generalize everything. Someone who needs rectification, someone who needs physical rectification, like, you do something worthy of corporal punishment. If you are rectified, if you are a sensible person, that will teach you, like, actions have consequences. So if actions have consequences, if you choose to do an action, to act in a certain way, you are actually not choosing the action, but you are choosing the consequences. So it is not the teacher that is punishing you, but you as your own. Like, you are actually eating from something that you already prepared for yourself. Yes.
Okay. So you still believe that the relationship between the student and the teacher might be affected with corporal punishment?
Might be, not might be, will be.
Will be affected.
Yes.
Okay. So it's like, Mr. Jao?
And the thing is, sorry, before you jump, like
the point very easy.
Yeah.
He said it will be affected. So that
means
it
will be affected. It will be affected. Like, it could be in a bad way. It could be in a good way. I still have relationship, like, very close attachment to some of my teachers back.
But we are beating you.
Not really. I was very obedient.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
Sometimes.
So
not at all.
How do you believe that the relationship might still be good between a student and a teacher that, like, whip students?
I absolutely have no problem with my teachers right now. Let's say I have no grudge against them. Personally, I take it as a rectification. As a rectification. Like, if let's say you have a daughter, she stays up late at night, and then you know how society is going. Like, God forbid, like, she could be raped outside. Would you prefer that rape, or you physically rectifying the girl?
Physically rectifying.
Exactly. So that's the whole point. You look at the good side, and then each person is specific. Like, to you, to me, like, applying it to me or on me might be different. In fact, will be different from applying to someone else. Not everyone, just like not how do you call it? Not all of us come from the same house. Not all of us take the same thing the same way.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll ask this question, like, what is the teacher trying to correct in a child who is misbehaving? Does the teacher know the background of the child to begin with? Some students, they come from, I'm just talking about those who are suffering. Some of them come from homes that are broken.
Yeah.
You understand? So they are suffering.
Yeah.
They come from broken homes. Some of them, they come from homes where, you know, the parents are separated. Some of them, you know, they are facing a lot. So the first point is counseling. A teacher should be a counselor. Yes. Physically beating them is adding to the problem. And that relationship is going to be a very terrible relationship. Like, it's going to breed hatred. Because the child will go and then having in their minds or having on their minds that the teacher is adding to my problems. The teacher should, in every classroom you go, there will be 1 or 2 students who are disruptive. Yes. You can call them out at some point. Yes. Even if you punish them by standing, at some point call them out, speak to them. If you go deep and do some soul searching, you will discover something is wrong. Somewhere, something is wrong. Some kids even have psychological issues.
So how do you call it? So
Before
having
I would like to ask you, when you were in school, there were teachers that were beating you.
Yes.
How was your relationship between you and them? Like, how was your relationship?
It was in at the moment they do it, I don't like them. Yes.
but today, do you like for doing it to you? That
Back then it was okay. But if it is present day right now, I would not like it for them to do it. But back then it was okay.
no, I mean,
Like when they did it, let's say they did it on a Monday. Yes, I would like them that after that Monday it's okay. You understand? Because it was applicable back then. So this is something that
So-
we have done. This is something that we have like done away with. It has gone. So it should not, bringing it back is like starting up something that, like, you know, starting up something that is very, very, you know, violent at this present day.
that makes it with violence is different from violence.
Yes.
Okay.
The question again, because I wanted to say something,
Yeah,
but
will
like
corporal
when
punishment affect the teacher-student relationship?
okay, so he made mention of a point that not everyone comes from a similar situation in your house. So
Yeah.
that means your situation is a license for you to misbehave in public. I come from a broken house doesn't mean that I should go outside and steal. If you stand before a judge, you'll be like, my lord, I just got divorced, so I raped that girl.
No,
It's not a justification.
No, not
It's not a
really.
justification. Regardless of what you are going through, it's personal to you. Public obedience, like public order, is something that everyone should follow. And if you don't, you should face consequences, regardless of what you are going through. Like, also, like that is specific to the student. You're like, okay, let me talk to the guy and rectify this guy this way. But like someone who's been a nuisance for like 6 consecutive weeks, maybe like the situation the person is having is a nuisance.
But remember, we are dealing with students of different age groups.
Exactly. That's
Yes.
why. That's why I
Different
said the point is not corporal punishment being the only way to rectify students.
Okay,
That's
now-
not the point.
So now, what do you think makes school environment healthier to support students?
A school environment should have, for me, I believe the first thing that they should establish in a school environment is a counseling unit. Yes, because in the present day, the world over, people are going through a lot. Yes, during our time when I was going to school in the mid 90s, coming down, there was not much of like this stress, you know. Yes,
Yeah.
we wake up and
Calm.
yes, things were calm.
Teachers are having
yes,
something in their
exactly.
pocket.
Teachers don't even mind how much they are paid.
No too much of
Yes,
stress.
exactly.
No strand.
Exactly.
Huh?
But when it's recently that you hear of bullying. Recently, bullying is a term that came recently. During our time, there was nothing like bullying. We don't even know what bullying is.
The word or the act.
The word,
Exactly.
the word,
which
okay?
is different.
Yes, it was there, but the word, and also, so what I believe is a school environment should have an established counseling unit with good psychologists that know about children,
Yeah.
children psychology, you know, how to help kids settle in class. Because also we have kids who have this attention, their attention,
Deficit.
no, they have attention deficit,
Yeah.
hyperactive disorder. They have ADHD. ADHD is common. Kids are taking so much sugar nowadays. Because of that, they are restless. Yes, someone who has sugar in their body, their cells produce so much energy.
That is biology.
Yes, so that energy that they produce, you're gonna sit. When you have so much energy, you're gonna sit. You are restless. So to tame them is like something that is fully charged, and you want to allow it to.
Yeah.
Yes, these are kids. So
Yeah.
beating them, you continue just beating them.
Look at
So
this.
a school should have a correct counseling unit with good counselors, experts in psychology, who understands child psychology.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's very right. For me, like I think one of the most important things, fundamentally critical things that a student should have is confidence and trust. Like they should be able to have this. Once you enter the school environment, the campus, you should feel confident in yourself and in the people that are there. Let's say, if for example, you have an imam, just an example. You have an imam. You are sitting behind. You are late for Juma, and then someone gives khutbah. But is the best khutbah you've ever heard? The best sermon you've ever heard? But like at the end of the khutbah, at the end of the prayer, you saw the imam, and then you saw the imam with yutal and then stuff like that. You know, as much as much as you appreciate the khutbah, seeing the teacher, sorry, the imam that way will deflate your confidence. Like everything, and then this is something that I think everyone should have in it. Teachers should be reliable. Teachers should be teachers should be able. People should be able to confide in their teachers. Let's say if I tell my teacher a secret, I know that he's going to die with it. If I ask him for something, if he says no, I will know that deep down it is a no. What he says, like he means it. I think that is something which will help people develop around school, and it's going to make the school environment a go-to for students. Let's say if you have a problem at home, if you have a problem, let's say you come from a broken home, you'll be able to explain it to the teacher. This is what I'm going through. If you don't have confidence in that, in the teachers, you wouldn't tell them. The only person you would tell is someone who doesn't care.
Now, what about a teacher who physically beats? How will the kids have the confidence to go? Because they'll be afraid if I go to him, he has a whip.
I still have confidence in my teachers.
This was back then, you know.
It's not a matter of back then. I still have confidence,
Yes.
like so much confidence. I have so much confidence in my teachers, like 100%.
Yeah, because you were
That's
obedient.
it.
You said it in this. You were obedient.
I never said I was never corporally punished. I said I was obedient.
Yeah, you said you were
And
yeah,
obedience
you didn't talk
doesn't mean
about
that I was 100% always obedient. There were times when I infringed the law, the rules, and I was punished. I can vividly remember.
But that will be minimal, right? That will be minimal. So your teachers will like you because you are obedient. So obedient students, they are likable by teachers. But students who are otherwise, who are disruptive, they cannot sit, they cannot. It is not that the teachers will hate them, but the teachers will not be comfortable having them around. Now, naturally, a teacher will want that student to be out of their class, and the child is there to learn. So being a teacher, you're carrying a lot of burden on your head, a lot of burden.
Yeah.
So
You've been in that body for
15 years. You know.
No, for real, teachers are good.
Yes. So teachers should be able to have that that rapport.
Yeah,
to
that
bring the
that
students
confidence,
in, and
like
then,
the
yes,
rapport
yes.
between the teachers.
With
and
time,
the
they will
students.
tell you. The students will tell you what they are going through, and you'll be able to help them.
And I tell you, like I vividly remember something, and I think it still exists. In primary school, no matter who says what, if my teacher says otherwise, it's otherwise.
Yes.
Like no matter what, like explain the most miraculous phenomenon to me.
Yes.
But like if my teacher says no, I will like bandola teacher move. That's it, like conclusive.
Yes.
It's done. But no teacher move. Like our teacher didn't say that, and that's it. Because like we still have that confidence in them. I don't know like how teachers are going with their students now, but like back then and still now, I'm very confident in them, and I trust them as much.
Okay, so I would like to throw a general question. Does technology improve learning or distract it?
It improves learning a whole lot, and this should be something that is controlled. Yes. In fact, I'll even recommend that schools that are not promoting technology should not be branded as good schools. A school should promote technology. A school should go with, a school should, evolve with technology, particularly AI. The students will learn how to use AI, not just to go and copy and paste. When they're used to copying and pasting, they're not learning. Yes. But even with technology, the teachers should prepare. The teachers should follow the normal traditions of teaching. Yes, the teachers should organize themselves, get their lesson plan, get their lesson notes, prepare for the classes they are going to have. Teachers should prepare for that. Incorporate technology into that. But because there's technology, there's AI, the teachers should also not be lazy and just take their phone and look at a topic and just take everything and bring it on the board. They should have a lesson plan. Even if their lesson plan is, they're taking notes from maybe AI or anywhere they're taking it from, they have to write that as a reference. Yes. And they have to verify, because AI can also have some errors.
Yeah.
So teachers should verify. Yes. So technology does a lot of good. When it is used wisely, it should be controlled. Yes. Controlled by the parents and controlled by the school. Yes. Controlled by the parents and controlled by the school. Yes.
Yeah, I think technology, like, it has done tremendous things for students. Like, basically, especially like if you are in the fields of computer science and stuff. I'm a computer science student and I know what AI means to me. So code completions and stuff, it makes work very, very easy. But like anything, like just like sugar is sweet, but like too much of it can damage you. Like because it's sweet doesn't mean that you should take it in any amount. Exactly. So if you look at technology, it has so many good things, but like it has adverse effects on the brain if you do not use it responsibly. Let's say students, we cannot focus now, a lot of us. Even if we focus in class, I think teachers can tell, like 5 minutes you are off. You are so much distracted because like you are worried about your messages, you are worried about your updates, you are worried about trends, you are worried about things, like you just want to catch cruise, which is something which would not take anyone anywhere. So if students should be taught how to use technology responsibly, And then one thing to be put in students also is they are learning to improve on themselves. The whole point of, let's say, I'm learning to get better grades. It's a good thing to have better grades, but like you are learning to get a better version of yourself, which is better than better grades. I'm not saying like if my teacher gives me like a D, I'm not saying I'll have a personal issue with the teacher, but like I will know, like, bro, this is not it. This is not what I'm looking for. Yeah. So people should really, as much as we appreciate technology, we should learn to be responsible with it. And then it has made people very impulsive. Just because you can do things quick, like you just want, if you order food, you have it immediately, doesn't mean that it makes you very, very impatient with real life. And in certain situations in life, you need patience, you need forbearance. And because you are used to things being done for you so quick, you don't want to put up with those things. It's really making people's brains fall out of place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have the last question. And since you are in for the motion, I would like to ask you.
Against.
You are against the
motion, yes.
So do you think students are more respectful now? Like, do students respect teachers more now than before?
No.
Okay.
No. In the past, students were more respectful to their teachers. In fact, in the past, when you are outside and then you hear the name of a teacher, the way you feel is different. Yes. Or even if you misbehave in the house, sometimes they will tell you, tomorrow I'm carrying you to Mr. Mendy, for example, a particular teacher. So you always have that respect for them. Or if you are passing the street and you see a teacher coming, you always hide. You don't want them to see you. Yes, because they might ask you, why are you here in the street? Why didn't you go for studies? You know. But nowadays, students, like,
hey, yo, Mr. Mendy.
Yes.
Yo, how are you doing?
You know, so they take everything to be like we are all the same. We are all mates, or we are all equal and everything. So some of them, they're not disrespectful, but it's just the trend. Yes, that's what they see on the media. That's the way they think, or that's the way they behave. You know, it's not that they're disrespectful, but they take it as in a jovial way. Yes. They can just come and say high five to a teacher and everything. You know, our teachers are masters. Yes, they were masters. In fact, you will see a gap. There was a big gap between us and our teachers.
Yeah.
Yes. But nowadays, students, they close that gap. You know, they don't see it like, they see it as a teacher, but it's not like I have to respect them too much. You know, because at some point they will, you know, now kids are very quick to pick up things. I'm not like, they will feel that this person acting is as if he's controlling me. Or I have to fear them. I have to bow down to them. Yes. But before, we don't see all those things. We see them as teachers and they are masters. Yes.
And maybe because they beat us.
Yeah, partly because they beat us.
No. Would you also say, like, let's say, how do you get it? I don't want to say this. It's just an opinion. Would you also say, like, teachers were way more responsible than today? Like the way they dress, the way they carry themselves, the way they speak, like their position in society. Would that be
a good number of teachers today are very disciplined. They dress even better than the olden day teachers. Like nowadays, you can even see teachers dress so corporate that you will think they are working at the bank. Yes.
No. You know, how do you call it? Dressing.
Yes, and even the way they carry themselves.
Yeah.
They are still disciplined. Some teachers today are even more disciplined than the olden day teachers. Some in the past, they are more disciplined than the present day teachers. You understand? So it's like, it's something that you cannot just say generally that the teachers in the past were more disciplined, or the way they carry themselves. No.
But your conclusion is students in the past respect their teachers
just
more than
more, way more. Yes, way more than the way the students.
Yeah, sure. Like, I think I'm not a teacher, and like it will be very, very. If I talk about this, it's going to be very, very abstract. But based on my humble observation, is that students used to be more obedient, more respectful, and more fearful. Like when a teacher walks in, everyone feels the aura. When a teacher walks in, you know this is. But like I wouldn't say that is completely respect. Sometimes it could be fear. Let's say if a fire is burning in this place, I'm avoiding the fire. I don't respect the fire. I'm afraid of the fire. Also, like back then, I think. No, don't worry.
No, go ahead.
It's okay.
Okay, first of all, let's make this clear. I don't mean this to be disrespectful, and I don't mean to put down any other. Like back then, I would say when you see a teacher, like you are like. You see a very responsible, socially prestigious person. Let's say today teachers dress well, but like the dress code now and the dress code then are very, very different. Let's say the dress code then were very, very traditional and culturally preserved dress codes. Let's say it's kaftan and then all those things. When you see a teacher, you see your father. When you see your teacher, you see your uncle. But now you see a teacher, you see someone that, how do you call it? You went to the same, let's say, someone who seniors you in school.
Yes.
Just like you are in grade 11, they are in grade 12. So it also plays, let's say, psychologically, it has an impact on, it has impacts on people. So you could even hear rumors of students dating teachers and then teachers dating. This usually does not happen with teachers with haftans. I think, presumptuously. Yeah, allegedly. Just allegedly. But like in general, I think like teachers used to have more aura. Teachers used to have more, like their presence used to be felt back in the days than today. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the teachers today. It could be that there is something wrong with the students, or there is something wrong with the system, or there's something wrong with the time that we are living in.
Maybe now we are not beating the students, is it?
Yeah. You know, one thing I know, someone that you punish corporally once would never see you as their mate again. You understand?
That gap will always be there.
Exactly. Like even if you are the same height with the person, like once they punish you as a teacher, like you feel their aura wherever you go. Like Mr. Sir, hello. But now you're like, boy.
You know, in the past also, in the past you always have this. People were not like thinking of harmful things, but now people see so many harmful things, so much so that you will like a teacher can physically punish the student, and the student can retaliate.
Exactly.
You understand my point? That is the violence I'm talking about. The student, before this, we were not even, those things were not even part of our minds.
And ironically, we used to have older students at primary school than now.
Yes.
Let's say if you go to, you see someone with beard in junior school.
Exactly.
But like those people were socially, like they were following, they were much more following social protocols than now. Why? You have small kids standing up to bigger guys, and then back then we have, let's say, age mates not standing up to each other. Why?
Because back then there was nothing that, there was nothing that, what do you call it, contaminated our culture. Our culture was pure. Yes. It's when the culture started getting, contaminated, we started seeing like what happens in the outside world. Those things started coming in. We started accepting it. That is what affected our education system. We started accepting it, like it's normal.
Yeah, but also, let's say, I wouldn't say that's the sole cause of it. Because if you have other, let's say, advanced countries, way more advanced, way more exposed than us. Let's say if you go to the Middle East, I'm not saying those parties, let's say UAE and stuff like that. If you go to Saudi, you have them, everything is in order. And those people, they have the same access, even probably like they have more access to outside world. They are more exposed than us. But like those people, their society and their social things are still in order. Why us? Especially in the school environment.
Because those people, they know how to use it. They know how to, control themselves around that. But for us, we're just taking things that we don't even understand.
Yeah, I think the sole cause is the irresponsible use of technology.
That's also a factor.
No, I think it is a key factor because most of the cases, usually like your kid, you as a moral person, you are raised right, but like you have a child who's going with someone who's not raised right. They are exposed to pornography. They are supposed to explicit content. Like someone, let's say, they know more about explicit content than a married person. And this is like grade 6. And like by the time you know it, just like pornography has the effects of pornography on an adult's mind, it has like way more adverse way more adverse effects on a child's mind. If an adult cannot control watching pornography, like psychologically, it doesn't leave the adult the same. Would it leave a child the same way? Maybe we should be responsible. And then one thing I want to make clear is, being responsible in your usage of technology doesn't mean that you stop the person from using it. You teach the person to be responsible while being themselves. Because like I cannot stop, like you cannot stop me from using something out of fear. If the fear is out, then I'm back to myself. And then that's why usually, like if you have, God forbid, if someone gets pregnant back in the days. For today, I don't know, because like today is a trend. Yeah, guess who is expecting? You understand? Yeah, but back in the day, if someone has, if people were very conservative, and then people used to have this kind of respect and self-esteem. If your daughter has, God forbid, the unfortunate, and sometimes the father would even stop coming out in public. And one common complaint they would say is like, we never thought she was like this. The thing is, she was like that, but you never noticed, because you altered the guy's behavior around you. So the person is like, she's being herself without you. So people should teach, I think we should teach each other how to be ourselves responsibly. Like whether someone is watching, whether like we'll have consequences if things fall apart, whether like anything, regardless, we should teach each other to be responsible. Alone, we should teach each other to be responsible. With people, we should teach we should teach each other to be responsible in regard to other people.
Mr. Yao,
Yes.
I also understand that maybe this will be you talking to the audience. I also understand that you do some home tutoring. How do you go about that?
Yes, this home tutoring is something that started 2 years ago. So it's from my experience. There are some
15 years.
Yes, 15 years experience. Yes,
As a biology teacher.
that's a biology teacher. So there are some students who need extra, personalized tutoring at home. So these are students that I was teaching at home. And then some of the parents will say, okay, can you help us with a math teacher? Can you help us with an English teacher? So I was doing it like that. So then I started writing about how I can set up a home tutoring, in the Gambia. It's the first time it's happening. So I started it, I wrote a project on it, and then, I made plans on how to execute it, and it worked well. So, right now, we have about 30 teachers on the ground, yes, who are teaching kids at different levels. We monitor that. And then we don't just stop at home tutoring, but we also monitor the progress of the kids at the school. We track their progress. We know what they're doing at the school, their curriculums and everything. So it's not just to provide a teacher, but it's to also, follow the kids' academic life throughout. Because some kids, they really need it. Yes. If you look at some schools now, the teacher to student ratio is very big. So some students cannot learn because the teacher cannot take every individual student. Some teachers, some are doing it very well. They group the students, but some teachers cannot take every individual student. So some students, they definitely need that personalized tutoring. So that's why we established this, and it's working well for the past 2 years.
If somebody wants to contact you, if somebody wants to maybe hire your service, can they how do they reach out to you? And
Yes.
are you available in any part of the country?
Yes, our tutors are going as far as Tujering, Sanyang, yes. Yes, we have tutors in Banjul as well. So it's not that tutors that are in Tujering, they live there, no. So what happens is when you make a request and say you want tutoring, you will tell us what subjects you want, and then we will pick it up from there. So we will assess the student and know their standard before we even start the tutoring program. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, do you have it for the, like, does it cover university students too?
Yes, university students too. It covers all levels, from nursery level all the way to university level. Yes.
So how do they get to you, like if they want to hire a service?
Yes, they can get to me through my contact.
Okay.
Yes.
Which will be displayed on the screen.
Yes, through my contact, yes.
Okay, so it's getting late. It was a very interesting program. This is the first version of our podcast and our debate series. We'll be bringing a lot of this type of programs to you. I hope you enjoy this one. See you in the next one.